Fentanyl, a word now heavy with dread. It arrives quietly, it promises relief, or perhaps a fleeting escape. But this promise is a lie. It is a chemical whisper leading to a deafening silence. For individuals, it begins a journey into a dark labyrinth, a place where the exit signs are often illusions, hard to find in the deepening gloom. Families watch loved ones fade into shadows. They see vibrant spirits dim, extinguished by a relentless craving. The drug steals people. Piece by piece, it takes them away from themselves and those who care. This is not just a private sorrow confined within four walls. It spills out. It floods into our communities. It leaves empty spaces everywhere. A desk at school remains unoccupied. A seat at the family dinner table is starkly vacant. A valued colleague is suddenly missing from their workplace. The loss echoes. It ripples outwards, touching many lives, often unexpectedly. The fabric of a neighborhood, once tightly woven, begins to fray. Trust erodes slowly. Fear takes root, casting long, dark shadows. Children grow up too fast, surrounded by a crisis they did not create, their innocence stolen. It's a cruel, twisted irony. Fentanyl was born from a desire to heal human suffering. Scientists, in their quest for solutions, created it to fight severe pain, the kind of pain that can break a person's spirit, the kind that makes every waking moment an agony. It was meant for sterile hospitals, for the careful hands of trained doctors and nurses, and for precisely measured doses. But like many powerful tools designed with good intentions, it was diverted from its purpose. It was twisted into something monstrous. Now it causes far more pain than it ever relieved on the streets. Its legitimate purpose is tragically overshadowed. This is why fentanyl is such an insidious trap. It offers a moment of perceived bliss, a brief, intense high, a temporary, deceptive numbing of all pain, whether physical or emotional. But the price for this fleeting escape is immense, almost unimaginable. The brain, a remarkably adaptive organ, quickly learns to crave it. Then very soon it learns to need it just to feel normal. Escape becomes harder with each successive dose. The walls of the trap grow higher, seemingly insurmountable. The individual feels snared, utterly powerless. This is the insidious nature of this particular substance. It locks people in, often tragically forever. Our brains are ancient machines, perfected over eons. They are built primarily for survival. They possess an intricate system, a sophisticated way to guide us through life's challenges. This system uses two powerful, fundamental signals: pain and pleasure. Pain acts as a warning. It screams, "Stop, danger ahead, retreat." Pleasure, on the other hand, rewards us. It whispers, "Yes, this is good for you, do it again." This delicate, crucial dance between pain and pleasure has kept our species alive and thriving for millennia. It is absolutely fundamental to who we are and how we navigate the world. Think about it for a moment. A small child curiously touches a hot flame. Pain flares instantly, a sharp, unforgettable lesson. The child learns, never touch it again. We eat nutritious food when we are hungry. Pleasure floods our senses. Our brain diligently learns that this food provides essential energy. It supports life and well-being. This intricate system is not just about purely physical sensations. It profoundly shapes our choices. It influences our social connections. It fuels our innate drive to seek comfort, security, and to avoid harm. It is deeply, inextricably woven into our very experience of being human. Then come the opioids, drugs like morphine and its street cousin heroin, and now the far more potent fentanyl. They are clever, dangerous imposters. They skillfully mimic our body's own natural pleasure chemicals, our internally produced endorphins. But they don't just mimic these gentle, natural signals. They overwhelm the system entirely. They flood the brain's delicate reward pathways with an unnatural force. A sudden, intense surge of artificial euphoria washes over the user. This is not a gentle nudge like natural pleasure. It is a destructive tidal wave. The brain is tricked. It is hijacked. When the brain is constantly, repeatedly flooded by these powerful synthetic drugs, something deeply damaging happens. Its own natural ability to produce pleasure signals and to respond to them weakens significantly. Natural joys, the simple pleasures of life, start to feel dull and muted. A beautiful sunset loses its vibrant colors. A loved one's warm laughter no longer sparks the same joy. These things no longer register with their previous intensity or meaning. The drug gradually becomes the only perceived source of strong feeling, of any feeling at all. The brain adapts to the artificial. It tragically forgets the real. This is a core, devastating part of the addiction trap. So, what is fentanyl, really, when we strip away the myths? It is a synthetic opioid. This means it is created in a laboratory by chemists. It is not derived naturally from plants, like opium from the poppy. It was specifically designed to be incredibly strong, exceptionally potent, many times stronger than the powerful painkiller morphine, perhaps 50 to even 100 times stronger than street heroin. Its immense power was originally intended for extreme medical situations, for easing the intense pain after major surgery, for cancer patients suffering unbearable terminal agony, not for street corners, not for casual, uninformed use. How does fentanyl affect the human body so intensely, so dangerously? It works in a similar way to other opioids, but with far greater impact. It latches onto specific parts of our nerve cells. These specialized docking sites are called opioid receptors. When fentanyl binds tightly to them, it effectively blocks pain messages from reaching the brain. It can also trigger a massive, unnatural release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure. This causes the intense high, the wave of euphoria. But it also does something else, something utterly terrifying. It dramatically slows down breathing. Sometimes it stops it completely. This is precisely why fentanyl is far more dangerous than many other opioids, its sheer, almost unbelievable potency. Imagine a single grain of salt. A tiny amount of fentanyl, equivalent to just a few grains of salt, can be enough to kill a fully grown adult. The difference between a dose that causes a euphoric high and a dose that stops someone breathing permanently is terrifyingly, microscopically small. There is almost no room for error, no margin for miscalculation. This tiny, unforgiving margin makes accidental overdose incredibly, tragically common. It's like walking a razor-thin tightrope high above a chasm with no safety net below. The short-term pleasure it offers is a powerful, seductive lure, a feeling of profound warmth, of all problems, all anxieties, seemingly melting away into insignificance. But it is a cruel, fleeting illusion. It lasts only for a short time. Then comes the inevitable crash, and with the crash comes the intense, overwhelming craving for more of the drug. The long-term consequences are utterly devastating. Addiction takes hold with frightening speed. The body and mind become completely dependent. Serious organ damage can occur over time, and with every single dose there is the ever-present lethal risk of a fatal overdose. It is a deadly game of Russian roulette with a loaded gun. The impact of fentanyl on society, especially in places like the United States, is nothing short of catastrophic. We see the chilling numbers reported daily. Soaring overdose deaths, a grim tally that climbs ever higher. Lives cut tragically short. Young people with their futures stolen. Old people finding a lethal escape from pain or loneliness. Absolutely no one is immune from its reach. Hospitals are overwhelmed with overdose cases. Emergency services, the first responders, are stretched to their absolute limits. Families are shattered, broken by grief and despair. Whole communities are living under a dark cloud of fear and loss. It is a public health crisis of enormous, unprecedented proportions. For drug dealers, fentanyl presents a tempting, profitable equation. It is relatively cheap to manufacture or to buy illicitly on the black market. Because it is so incredibly potent, a very small physical amount can be cut and diluted into many individual doses. Or even more dangerously, it can be secretly mixed with other drugs like heroin, cocaine, or counterfeit pills. This dramatically increases their profit margins. The unsuspecting user often doesn't even know they are taking fentanyl. It's a business model built on cynical deception and an acceptance of immense risk to others. The profit margins are undeniably high. The human cost is callously ignored. But this dangerous gamble is perilous for the dealers themselves too, though they may not always realize it. Law enforcement agencies around the world are increasingly focused on fentanyl trafficking. The sentences for being caught dealing this substance can be extremely severe, reflecting its lethal nature. Handling such a potent chemical is also incredibly dangerous for them. Accidental exposure, inhaling a tiny amount, or skin contact can be fatal. Some dealers, driven by greed, may not care about these risks. Others might, but the powerful lure of easy, substantial money often outweighs any concerns for safety or morality. It's a dark, destructive trade. Fentanyl is much more than just another drug in a long list of substances. It is a profound public health menace, a scourge on our times. Its extreme potency makes it a uniquely dangerous substance, unlike anything seen before on such a scale. It has created a deadly trap that is incredibly hard to escape, both for the individuals caught in its grip and for the society struggling to cope with its consequences. The most important message we can share is one of absolute avoidance. Education is vital. Understanding the true, terrifying nature of this drug is key to self-preservation. Seeking help is a sign of courage and strength, never weakness. This is a battle for lives.